Imagine standing at the end of your life, looking back. What do you want to be remembered for? Is it your accomplishments, your wealth, or is it something deeper? The impact you had on others, the difference you made in the world. The truth is, the legacy we leave behind is shaped by something far more powerful than success or status. It's shaped by the purpose that drives us. Purpose isn't just a buzzword, it's the compass that guides our every decision, our every action, and our every step forward. It's the force that transforms ordinary lives into extraordinary ones. In this video, we're going to explore the profound legacy of purpose and how living with intention can create a lasting impact long after we're gone. Whether you're at the start of your journey or at a crossroads, understanding your purpose is the key to leaving a legacy that truly matters. In life, there will be moments when we feel lost, uncertain of the path ahead. It's in those moments, when the road ahead seems unclear and the horizon feels distant, that purpose becomes our most valuable tool. Much like how a compass provides direction to a lost traveler, our purpose gives us a sense of direction when the world feels chaotic and overwhelming. A compass doesn't provide the traveler with immediate answers to every obstacle in their way. It doesn't clear the path or remove the challenges. What it does is offer a point of reference, a way to find true north, to know which way is forward. Similarly, purpose doesn't always make the obstacles disappear or ease the burden of hard work, but it helps us navigate through it. Purpose serves as our internal guide, our North Star, that allows us to orient ourselves when things feel confusing. Consider the sailors of old, embarking on long journeys across vast, treacherous seas. These sailors didn't have the technology we rely on today. They didn't have satellites, GPS, or sophisticated maps. What they had was their compass. With that simple tool, they could sail across oceans, chart unknown waters, and arrive at distant lands. Despite the vastness of the ocean, the unpredictable weather, and the unknown dangers they faced, they knew where they were going. The compass kept them on course, steady and sure. In life, we too can often feel as though we are navigating an unknown sea. The waves of doubt, the winds of distraction, and the storms of life can leave us uncertain of where we are headed. But when we have a purpose, when we know why we're moving forward, it acts as our compass, allowing us to find direction even in the most uncertain of times. Having a clear purpose provides a sense of stability. It anchors us, much like how a compass pins a traveler to the earth, regardless of the forces pushing and pulling them. Without purpose, we may float aimlessly, carried by whatever current comes our way, unsure of whether we're making progress or just circling in place. With purpose, we understand the end goal, and every decision, every action becomes part of a larger journey, a step towards something greater. Furthermore, a compass doesn't guarantee a smooth or easy journey. It doesn't promise that the traveler will always have calm waters or favorable winds. There will be days when the compass points toward a destination that feels far out of reach. But that doesn't make the compass less valuable. In fact, in those moments of difficulty, the compass becomes even more important. It is precisely when the sea is stormy and visibility is low that we need a guiding direction. Without purpose, we may be swept away by the tempests, uncertain of where we are or where we're going. With purpose, we hold fast to our course, trusting that despite the storm, there is a reason to keep moving forward. Life's journey is rarely a straight path. There will be detours, delays, and unexpected turns. But the compass of purpose ensures that even when the route isn't clear, we have something to steer us. It brings us clarity in a world that is often anything but clear. Purpose, like a compass, does more than simply show us where to go. It shapes the way we navigate the world. When we know what we're working toward, every challenge becomes a test of resolve, every success a milestone along the way. Commitment is the foundation of any meaningful achievement. It is the driving force that propels us forward when the excitement of a new endeavor fades and the challenges begin to mount. It is easy to begin a journey with enthusiasm, full of energy and optimism, but it is commitment that sustains us through the inevitable trials we will face. In many ways, commitment is what transforms our intentions into actions, our dreams into reality. At its core, commitment is the act of dedicating yourself fully to a cause, a goal, or a purpose. It is more than just a decision made in the moment. It's a promise to yourself, and sometimes to others, that no matter what obstacles arise, you will not give up. The true power of commitment lies in its ability to provide the strength and discipline needed to see something through to completion, even when the journey becomes difficult or uncomfortable. Think of any major accomplishment in history, whether it's the successful completion of a monumental project, a sporting achievement, or the groundbreaking work of an artist. None of these feats were accomplished by simply having a good idea or a burst of initial enthusiasm. Every one of them required an unwavering commitment. The individuals who achieved greatness were those who pushed forward with relentless determination, even when things didn't go as planned. They made a decision early on to see their vision through, no matter the challenges, setbacks, or failures they encountered along the way. Commitment also serves as a shield against doubt and distraction. It's easy to get sidetracked by the noise of everyday life, to lose focus when new opportunities or shiny distractions present themselves. But when you are committed to something, you develop the mental fortitude to block out those distractions. You develop the ability to prioritize, to say no to things that don't align with your mission, and to stay on course no matter what. This level of focus is invaluable in a world where we are constantly bombarded by competing interests and fleeting interests. In a way, commitment acts like the anchor of a ship in a storm. The winds of doubt may howl, the waves of uncertainty may crash over you, but your commitment to your course will keep you grounded. It reminds you why you started and what you are striving to achieve. It's that unwavering resolve that makes you resilient when others may falter. Moreover, commitment is what builds trust. Whether it's in a personal relationship, a professional endeavor, or a community, commitment is the glue that holds things together. It's easy to start something, but to finish it, to stick with it through thick and thin, that's what builds confidence in others. When you show up day after day, when you honor your promises and your word, you demonstrate reliability. People begin to believe in you because they see that you are committed to the task at hand, and that trust is invaluable. The power of commitment is also tied to personal growth. When you commit to something, you challenge yourself in ways that push you beyond your comfort zone. Commitment demands that you work hard, stay disciplined, and overcome difficulties. It requires patience and perseverance, and in doing so, it fosters resilience and character. Through the process of commitment, you learn to deal with adversity, to push through moments of doubt, and to celebrate the small victories along the way. Ultimately, commitment is what transforms potential into reality. Without commitment, potential remains just that, unrealized, dormant. It is through commitment that we take those first steps and continue walking toward our goals, regardless of the obstacles that stand in our way. Every great achievement, every successful endeavor was built on the foundation of one thing: commitment. In life, the ability to adapt is one of the most powerful skills we can possess. It is the difference between those who rise above their challenges and those who succumb to them. To adapt and overcome is not merely to survive, it is to thrive in the face of adversity. It's the hallmark of resilience, the unspoken strength that empowers individuals to continue moving forward even when the path ahead seems blocked or unclear. Life does not unfold as we expect it to. We encounter unexpected storms, detours, and obstacles that can derail our plans. In those moments, the ability to adapt and overcome determines whether we will continue to push forward or give up. Adaptation is the ability to change our approach in response to new circumstances. It is about accepting that we cannot control everything around us and learning to adjust our strategies accordingly. When faced with a challenge, the natural human reaction may be to resist or fight against it. However, true strength lies not in resisting change, but in understanding that flexibility is essential for growth. Just as a tree bends in the wind to avoid breaking, we too must bend and adjust to the circumstances around us without losing sight of our core purpose. Consider the example of soldiers on the battlefield. They train for months, preparing for a specific type of combat. But once they are on the ground, the reality is often far different from what they prepared for. The terrain may be unfamiliar, the enemy more cunning than expected, and the conditions much harsher than anticipated. Yet, the soldiers who succeed are those who can adapt quickly, adjusting their strategies and tactics based on the ever-changing dynamics of the battlefield. They don't cling to rigid plans or outdated methods. They respond to the present moment, assessing and adjusting as needed. They understand that their ability to adapt is their key to overcoming whatever challenges lie before them. Adaptation is also essential in the face of personal adversity. Life rarely goes according to plan. Jobs are lost, relationships falter, health declines, and dreams seem to slip further away. When these unexpected setbacks arise, many feel discouraged. But the ability to adapt means that we don't let these setbacks define us. Instead, we reassess, reframe, and approach the situation with a renewed perspective. Adaptation in these moments means seeking new solutions, considering new opportunities, and refusing to be boxed in by what we thought was possible. In adapting, we open ourselves up to new possibilities and avenues that we may have overlooked before. Overcoming, on the other hand, is the act of pushing through, of breaking past the barriers that seem insurmountable. It's the courage to keep moving forward when the going gets tough. Overcoming is not about avoiding hardship. It's about confronting it head-on, drawing strength from within, and taking deliberate action despite the odds. The process of overcoming is not always fast or easy. It requires perseverance, a relentless spirit, and a belief in the eventual triumph that lies beyond the struggle. Consider the countless examples of people who have faced immense obstacles and found a way to overcome them. Whether it's a person battling illness, a business owner navigating economic downturns, or an athlete pushing past injury, those who overcome challenges do so not by simply enduring, but by finding strength in their ability to adapt and adjust. They refuse to accept defeat as final. They seek out solutions, find new paths, and adapt to the conditions in which they find themselves. In overcoming, they build resilience, character, and an unshakable belief that no challenge is too great. Ultimately, to adapt and overcome is to acknowledge that challenges are a natural part of life, but they do not define our limits. We are the ones who define our future through the choices we make in response to those challenges. Adaptation gives us the flexibility to change course when necessary, and overcoming gives us the strength to see that course through to its successful conclusion. Both are essential in navigating life's ever-shifting landscape. Service is one of the most powerful and profound forces in shaping human character, community, and society. It is not just about performing tasks for others. It is a way of being, a mindset that places the needs of others alongside or even above our own. In a world that often emphasizes individual success, competition, and self-interest, the role of service is a reminder that true fulfillment comes not from what we take, but from what we give. Service is rooted in the idea of selflessness, of recognizing that our lives are intertwined with those around us, and that our actions can have a meaningful impact on others. It is through service that we connect to something greater than ourselves. When we serve others, we transcend the limitations of our own concerns and begin to contribute to the well-being of the collective. It is this broader perspective that makes service so transformative, not only for those who receive it, but also for those who give it. In many ways, service is the foundation of leadership. A true leader does not simply command others. They serve those they lead. They prioritize the needs of their team, recognizing that by uplifting others, they create an environment where everyone can thrive. The best leaders are those who understand that leadership is not about power, but about responsibility, and that responsibility comes through service. By serving others, leaders inspire trust, build loyalty, and create a sense of unity and purpose. When a leader serves, they show by example that every action, no matter how small, has a purpose and is part of a larger mission. Service also plays a vital role in building strong communities. Every act of service, whether large or small, contributes to the foundation of a society based on compassion, cooperation, and mutual respect. Communities thrive when individuals serve each other, whether through volunteer work, acts of kindness, or simply being there for one another in times of need. In a community where service is valued, people don't just look out for themselves. They look out for each other. They understand that the well-being of one is interconnected with the well-being of all, and that collective progress is only possible when everyone contributes. One of the most powerful aspects of service is its ability to create change, both on a personal level and within larger social systems. When we serve others, we not only improve their lives but also enrich our own. Service opens our eyes to the struggles, joys, and experiences of others, deepening our understanding of the world around us. It humbles us, reminding us that no matter how much we achieve, we are never above the needs of those around us. In serving others, we also discover our own capacity for compassion, resilience, and empathy. The role of service is not limited to those who hold positions of authority or influence. Everyone has the ability to serve, regardless of their status or station in life. Service can be as simple as lending a hand to a neighbor, offering a listening ear to a friend, or volunteering time for a cause. Each of these actions contributes to a culture of giving where the collective good is prioritized over personal gain. In fact, it is often the most ordinary acts of service that have the greatest impact. The smile shared with a stranger, the kind word given at the right moment, the time dedicated to help another. These small acts often ripple out to create lasting change. Service also fosters a deep sense of purpose. When we serve, we align ourselves with something bigger than our individual desires and ambitions. Service is the antidote to the loneliness that can come from self-centeredness and isolation. It connects us to others, to our communities, and to a shared sense of humanity. It reminds us that no one is an island and that we all depend on one another to navigate the challenges of life. Through service, we find meaning not only in what we achieve but in what we contribute. It is in the act of giving that we often find the deepest sense of fulfillment. In the end, service is not just about making a difference in the lives of others. It's about transforming ourselves. When we serve, we grow. We become more compassionate, more understanding, and more connected to the world around us. Through service, we discover that the true measure of a life well lived is not how much we accumulate, but how much we give. It is in this giving that we find the true power of purpose. Failure is often seen as a negative event, something to be avoided at all costs. In a culture that emphasizes success, achievement, and winning, failure is sometimes viewed as the ultimate defeat. But in reality, failure is one of the most powerful catalysts for growth, development, and achievement. What separates those who ultimately succeed from those who falter is not the absence of failure, but resilience. The ability to rise, adapt, and keep going when things don't go as planned. Resilience in the face of failure is the cornerstone of perseverance. It's the ability to absorb setbacks and keep moving forward with unwavering determination. Failure, after all, is not the end of the road, it's a part of the journey. Every single person who has ever achieved anything meaningful has faced failure at some point, whether it's in the form of a failed project, a missed opportunity, or personal setbacks. What distinguishes those who rise above their failures from those who are defeated by them is the ability to learn from the experience and use it as a stepping stone toward future success. The most resilient individuals are not the ones who never experience failure, but those who are able to see failure as a learning experience rather than a permanent setback. They understand that failure is not a reflection of their worth or ability. Instead, it's a signal, an opportunity to reassess, to rethink strategies, and to identify areas for improvement. When we fail, we are given the unique chance to grow. Resilience is the ability to transform failure into a lesson, to extract the wisdom from the experience and apply it in the future. Consider the example of inventors and innovators. Thomas Edison famously failed thousands of times before successfully inventing the light bulb. Each failure, instead of being a barrier, served as a lesson that brought him one step closer to his goal. He didn't view his failures as a reflection of his incompetence. Rather, he saw them as essential steps in his journey. "I have not failed," Edison said. "I've just found 10 zeros, zero ways that won't work." That mindset of resilience, the understanding that failure is not final but part of the process, was key to his ultimate success. Similarly, athletes face failure on a regular basis. Whether it's a missed shot, a lost game, or an injury that sidelines their career, failure is an unavoidable part of the journey to excellence. But it is through failure that they develop their greatest strength, resilience. A professional athlete does not give up after losing a game or facing defeat. Instead, they use that loss as fuel to train harder, improve their skills, and come back stronger. They understand that failure is not a mark of inadequacy, but a challenge to overcome. In the face of failure, they don't retreat. They dig deeper, work harder, and persevere. This resilience isn't just limited to high-profile figures or athletes. It applies to all of us in every aspect of life. In our careers, relationships, personal goals, and dreams, failure is inevitable. But how we respond to it is what defines our success. Resilience is not about avoiding failure, it's about how we handle it when it comes. It's about getting back up after we fall, learning from our mistakes, and continuing on the path despite the setbacks. The journey of resilience involves emotional strength as well. It's easy to feel discouraged, frustrated, or disheartened after experiencing failure. But resilience is not the absence of those feelings. Rather, it is the ability to feel them, acknowledge them, and still move forward. It's about developing a mindset that sees failure as a temporary challenge rather than a permanent state of being. Those who possess resilience have a deep belief in their ability to recover and succeed. They refuse to be defined by their failures, instead choosing to define themselves by their capacity to persist. Resilience is also about adaptability. Failure often forces us to adapt, to change course, to find new solutions, and to embrace different approaches. It teaches us to be flexible in our thinking and to remain open to new possibilities. In this way, failure becomes a source of creativity and innovation. The ability to adapt in the face of failure is what allows us to continue growing and evolving, even when the initial path we chose no longer seems viable. At its core, resilience is about the courage to continue, no matter the challenges. It's about looking failure in the eye, acknowledging its impact, and choosing to rise again with greater strength, knowledge, and determination. It is this resilience that ultimately leads to success, not because we avoid failure, but because we learn to face it head-on and emerge from it stronger than before. A legacy is often defined by what we leave behind, our accomplishments, our contributions, and the mark we make on the world. However, the true legacy of a person is not simply measured by the tangible achievements they accumulate. It is deeply rooted in the purpose they lived for. Purpose shapes the actions we take, the choices we make, and the lives we touch. It defines the deeper meaning behind our existence, and ultimately, it is the legacy of that purpose that endures long after we are gone. The legacy of purpose is not an accident. It is the result of a life lived with intention. When a person understands their purpose, they channel their energy into something greater than themselves, something that resonates far beyond their own immediate circle. This purpose becomes the driving force behind their actions, guiding them through both successes and failures, shaping how they interact with others, and ultimately influencing the impact they have on the world. The most profound legacies are those built on a sense of purpose that transcends personal gain, focusing instead on serving others or advancing causes that outlive the individual. Consider the lives of historical figures whose legacies are tied to their sense of purpose. Leaders such as Nelson Mandela, who fought for equality and justice, or Mother Teresa, who dedicated her life to serving the poor and the sick, created legacies not simply because of their actions, but because of the unwavering commitment to a higher purpose. Their purpose was clear. They sought to improve the world around them and to leave a positive imprint on the lives of others. Their legacies are not confined to their lifetime. They continue to influence and inspire long after their deaths. The ripple effects of their purpose continue to reverberate through generations, showing us that a life of purpose can create change that spans time and geography. Purpose, when fully embraced, creates a sense of direction that propels individuals forward. It gives life a sense of meaning, making every effort, every challenge, and every setback part of a greater journey. People who live with purpose don't just do things for the sake of doing them. They understand why they are doing them. This clarity drives them to work harder, persevere longer, and stand firm in the face of adversity. Their legacy is not just the result of their achievements, but of their unwavering dedication to a cause that transcends their own existence. In addition, purpose gives people the ability to inspire others. A person who lives with purpose becomes a beacon of hope, a model of what it means to live with intention and passion. They attract others who share similar values or who are inspired by their example. This ripple effect creates a community of individuals who are united by a shared sense of purpose, amplifying the impact of their actions. A strong, purpose-driven legacy is contagious. It encourages others to reflect on their own lives, to discover their own purpose, and to pass on the torch of meaningful work. This cycle of inspiration and purpose continues, creating a legacy that lives far beyond the individual. Another aspect of the legacy of purpose is the creation of something lasting, a creation that stands as a testament to one's commitment to their cause. For some, this could take the form of a tangible accomplishment, such as a work of art, a book, or an institution. For others, it may be seen in the relationships they built, the communities they nurtured, or the impact they had on those closest to them. These legacies are not fleeting. They stand as living monuments to a life of purpose. The impact may be immediate or take time to be recognized, but in the end, the legacy remains a reflection of how purpose shaped the person's journey. Ultimately, the legacy of purpose is a gift that extends far beyond the individual. It is a gift to the people we influence, to the world we impact, and to the generations that follow. A life led by purpose has the power to inspire, to uplift, and to transform. It creates a lasting influence that continues to guide others long after the person who lived it has passed. And while the exact form of that legacy may vary, the underlying truth remains: a life driven by purpose is a life that endures. A life driven by purpose is one that transcends time, leaving a lasting impact on those it touches. It goes beyond accomplishments, focusing on the deeper meaning behind every action and decision. The legacy of purpose not only shapes the individual's journey, but also inspires others to live with intention, creating a ripple effect of positive change. It teaches us that true fulfillment lies not in personal gain, but in serving something greater than ourselves. Ultimately, a purposeful life leaves behind a legacy that continues to inspire, influence, and uplift for generations long after the individual is gone.